What's up, guys? It's your favorite mystic, Siren Sims, and we're back with another Sims&Commentary. Alright, so in this one here, I'm trying out a new format, and hopefully this will work out great for me and everybody involved. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to be making an avatar character. It'll be obvious who, and then I'm going to start talking about avatar. Now, I have a core video that I am working on, so don't worry about that. But for now, I wanted to talk about my unpopular avatar opinions. Those are people who have already seen the show, right? So from your perspective, you've already seen the show, so this shouldn't be a spoiler. If you've never seen the show, come off this video because it may have a spoiler or two for you. Alright? So, spoiler warning, and let me just check a setting here. Okay, so unpopular opinion number one: it's okay to like aang. And let me explain what that means. I might do a whole aang centric video because honestly, y'all need help. Like y'all new aang fans, I'll say. Some of you new aang fans, and even some of you old ones, if we're being really honest and genuine about it, need some help, because it's almost like y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand what's happening. You don't get it, you don't care, which is fine, but honestly, I feel like I have to come and represent for my nigga. I have to represent for aang, and it's sad because, like, I'm a girl. Like, why do I have to represent for a man? Like, why do I have to represent for a man? Ugh. Anyways, I have this opinion because I've been seeing a lot of people recently get on aang for small things, like the 2 to 3 episodes where he messed up in season 1. And so because he messed up in those 2 to 3 episodes, he's really flawed and they can't wait for him to grow up, and they're just tired of this and they want to see him do better. And it's really annoying to me, and here's why. It's not that aang doesn't need to grow up, right? Because we're not going to sit here and be dumb. Of course aang needs to grow up because of the severity of the situation. But my problem is the hypocrisy of the situation, right? It's a show on Nickelodeon, which means it's a kid show. Which also means that there is a certain level of knowledge, right? Knowledge that this is a kid show. Knowledge that, maybe we should look into this as more than just, and yes, definitely this show has a lot of adult aspects. I might even get to some other unpopular opinions later, but delving into the aang thing, people have this thing where they'll forget it's a kid show because they'd much rather spend all their time hating on aang for the first season. In the other season, they just kind of leave him alone, like he's a non-issue until something needs to be done, like until the world needs to be saved, or until a big battle. Like it's so annoying because aang is such a great character, and I'll admit this, right? There was definitely a version of me that aang wasn't my favorite, but the only reason that was even a thing is because I had this weird mindset that, like, you can't like the OP character, you can't like Superman, you can't like, you can't like people that are way too OP because it's not fair. You have to like the person that has a lot more to learn. You have to like the person who is more likely to lose in a fight. But after hearing a lot of the opinions of the internet, because I try to listen to everyone's opinions, I realize I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna like who I like, and I've become that type of person in many aspects as well. So when it comes to aang, he's probably my favorite character in the whole show. And I know that's weird because it's like, really, aang's your favorite character? That's interesting. Why aang? And I understand. So I'll tell you guys that in another video. But that was just the first one. I feel like It's okay to like Aang. You guys don't have to overly criticize him just because he's a main character, because you guys are not going to over criticize Korra. And I'll give an unpopular opinions about Korra in another video, but whatever. Alright, opinion number 2. I love Toph, but she did not get enough screen time. Now, I don't really think I have to explain that one. I think that one is painfully obvious. They even made jokes about it, you know, where it was probably the 18th episode. Yeah, the 18th episode of season 3, where Aang went missing because he was on the lion turtle, and they split up to search. And so Toph decided to go with Zuko, and she made a big deal out of it because she was like, oh, I'll go with Zuko, right? And so she decided to go with Zuko, but Zuko said, rightfully so, that, you know, it doesn't matter who she goes with. He doesn't care. At this point in time, it's just about Aang, and he didn't care to hear any of her life story. And mind you, this was a very interesting section that really hurt me a little bit, because she went into depth about her parental issues. Now, of course, people are going to say, but Katara had an idea about this. I'm not talking about people gleaning that she had an issue with her parents, yes or no. No, I'm talking about her saying out of her mouth what her issue was with her parents, right? She was being honest about that. Guys, I guess you can guess who this is with his hair down. But anyways, so she went into depth about what her issue was with her parents, and at least she started to. She didn't get to completely verbalize, but he stopped her, you know, because there are more important things to do, and he didn't have time to listen. And to be honest, he's already accepted into the group, so he doesn't really have to listen to anybody anymore. You know, he doesn't have to be forced to be more social and personable. And I might talk about that later, we'll see. But because of that, it was cut, and you could see that she was hurt by that, you know, where she was like, damn, I guess I'm not gonna get my time. And obviously that was put in there as a joke, right? Like, oh, let's joke about the fact that Toph's not gonna get her moment with Zuko, haha. But it bothered me personally, because to be honest, I think they shouldn't have done that. I think we all would have gone without thinking that she should have had a moment with Zuko, and it would have been something that people thought after the fact, and maybe we talked about it then. But because you put it in there, to me, it reminded me of a whole lot of things that had to do with this show. Like the fact that, you know, she never got her own love interest, or at least the lack of one, because I'll talk about this in another unpopular opinion. All she was established as was the funny, sarcastic weapon, you know. But she didn't necessarily get much backstory. She just became a better member of the group, you know, where it's like, oh, just be a part of the group and be nicer to the group, and she got that. So that was it, you know. She became part of the group. That was her whole growth, because she had lived by herself in rich solitude, and now she's part of a group. There is so much more that you could have given her, but they didn't, right? They didn't do it, and that was kind of the end of it. So I feel like she should have gotten more. I know they have comics, I read a few of them. I was a little bit interested in that scene where she met that inventor guy, or that guy who worked with a lot of metal, who thought that she was one of the most interesting people ever. I thought that was a really interesting thing that should have been delved into, but you know, it's whatever. Yeah, I'm sure you guys know who I'm doing now. I almost gave up on finding his hair, but there it is. Oh, as a matter of fact, I think my next unpopular opinion should be about him. Alright. How do I say this? I'm sorry, I'm doing so well. This looks like him so much. I'm good at this. But alright. Okay. So next, unpopular opinion. What unpopular opinion? I don't think I have an unpopular opinion. Well, that's a lie. I do have an unpopular opinion about him. Unpopular opinion. Sokka's arc is up there with Aang's arc and Zuko's arc. I don't know, people don't think Aang's arc is anything, but it is. The way he went from kind of a misogynist, which I don't blame him for. I think he was that way because of his tribe, and I feel like they should have delved into that a little bit more, which has to do with Katara, which, you know, I'll put that as my other unpopular opinion next. So people don't really think about Sokka's arc. They just watch it, they remember that he was a little bit sexist, but he got over that fairly quickly, and and now he's just cool, he's just Sokka, he's just that nigga. And while I agree that he's cool and he's that nigga, Sokka didn't just change from a sexist to a normal nigga. He also had to battle with his self-esteem. He had to battle with his leadership. You know, feeling like even though he technically was the leader, he felt like he shouldn't be because he didn't have any powers. And he had to be told his worth by the people in the team. You know, and I love Sokka so much. I feel like, oh, that's beautiful. I don't know if it fits. Let me see if there's another eye I could look at. It's too dark. The other one is brighter. Sorry guys, trying to find the right eye. That's actually really vivid and cute. I like that. But yeah, I feel like Sokka's arc should be given more like a standing ovation, because I feel like his arc was done dirty. So yeah, I feel like his arc was done dirty, and we could have, you know, been a little happier for him when he, you know, became a full man and a full leader. Like, everybody was just there for when his dad embraced him and everything, but he had become a man before that, and I feel like that needs to be appreciated as well. So whatever, Sokka, kudos, one of the best characters in the show, we know this. Love Sokka, bro. Okay, we'll stick with these. Or this one. I really want one of the burnt waffle eyes to work. I think this one might work, so we'll leave it with this. Okay, so let's just give Sokka the drip. Alright, unpopular opinion number 4. Yes, Katara is a problem by at least season 3 standards. And let me say this, because I know people will start attacking me. Everybody's always saying things about Katara. It's not fair. It's not. Look, I don't hate Katara. I definitely went through a phase where I was disillusioned with her. I'll say that. Because she was my favorite at one point. And then I went through a phase where I was like, oh my god, she got a whole lot of problems. I can't believe she was my favorite. Like, I went through that phase. I will admit that. But what I will say is that I think it's okay to talk about her issues, you know, and I'll say this: the real people who really talk about her issues are not the same people who whine and complain about her. Is that hair? Is that what that detail is? Interesting. Okay. I'm not one of those people who complain about her crying about her mom all the time. Okay, that's not a real complaint. That's just something people say because they are disillusioned with her at this point in time. So they'd rather just complain about something. Nobody cares about that. And nobody who actually has reasonable complaints about Katara cares about that either. what we're really talking about is the points in her character that didn't really make any sense. And there aren't many, so I'll give you that. There aren't too many. But they're there, they're poignant, and they're noticeable. And why do I say it they're poignant? Because these are moments in time that you guys bring up as some of your favorite moments in the show. So, for example, in season 3, Aang wakes up, she's mad at her dad. Now let me tie this into my second or third, I think it's my third opinion with Sokka. I feel like there was a better way that they could have done that. Now, how? Instead of her just being mad that her dad left, even though she understands why he left, and I get that, but for the show that it is such a complex range of emotions, it was done poorly. I know that they were trying to find a way to complexly put in that emotion without having it be, troublesome, which, okay, I get that, fine. But, I don't like how these clothes are fitting him. Maybe it's the overlay. I'll fix that later. So, she was mad at her dad because he left. And so because he left, she was mad at him. And it came out until she could cry to him about it, because it was similar to how she was mad at Aang. But she wasn't even, giving Aang the energy that she was giving her dad. Which is fine, I guess. Like, don't give that energy to Aang. Like, sit your ass back, girl. Oh, is that you saying you like this one, sir? You know what? You would think you were cool enough for something like this. You would. We'll change the colors. We'll look at it. So, I feel like they could have written it better. So, for example, what I was saying about the sokka thing. I feel like they could have done something where instead of it just being that she was mad at him for that, it could have been that, let's just say she was mad at him because he, what's the word? It could have been that she was mad at him because he never let her be the person she wanted to be. So she always wanted to learn waterbending. She always wanted to know how to fight. Let's just say that her dad never allowed her to do that, right? It was a very misogynistic place that she lived in, and he kind of sort of forced her to live under this sort of regime where she just had to listen to her brother, even though she was capable. And, let's bring more of her culture into it, right? To make it more understandable if there's a problem between her and her dad. Because to be honest, her being that rude to him, like, brother, nobody understood that. And I watched a lot of reactions. To this day, nobody gets it. After she explains why she's mad, they're like, oh, I guess. But in reality, nobody was here for it. Nobody liked that. So I feel like they could have done it in a different way that would have made it more understandable for Katara. And this is me trying to help them make Katara look like a better person, to be honest. So that's just how I feel about that. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna have to change his face a little bit, guys. I'm sorry. So I feel like they should have added in a bit more of the culture. Like, for example, a part that nobody has an issue with, where she was being rude to Master Paku, requesting things that she shouldn't have requested, blah blah blah, because, right, there was this sexist rule where women couldn't learn how to waterbend in combat form. They could only learn how to do it for healing. Okay, cool. I get that. Have Katara fight that, fine. But I think that they really could have dug deeper into the fact that she was unable to waterbend and dig deeper into the customs of her country. Because I think that would have been interesting. I know that's kind of a weird way to go into it at this point, but I think that would have been really interesting if they were to have gone into that. And I think that if it was mixed with relationship with her father and the relationship to her
Mardunsa.
tribe, then the justifiable anger would have made more sense to me personally if all of that was also included, instead of it just being, oh, she's just mad at her dad, she'll get over it, but she's gonna be as rude as possible until then. Though, like, no, we didn't need that. Honestly, we really didn't need that. So I'll just say that about that. What I'll also say, Katara was doing the most with Zuko, because Zuko, yeah. Here's why. She was so mad at him that she ended up saying things to other people that didn't make any sense. So Southern Raiders, they run out there to try and take Appa and do what must be done. And of course Aang, forever trying to put people together, is like, well, maybe there's another way you could do this. Like, don't go and hurt anybody. She's not trying to hear, understandably. So instead, she acts like...
Susu.
I'm sorry, the onesie. Instead, she acts like there's no way that Aang could understand what she's going through. Ma'am? What are you talking about? This is just... I'll bring it up another time, but there's this show's kind of lack of awareness, which is actually kind of fine. But my problem with the show's sometimes lack of awareness is that y'all act like y'all not aware too. So like, the show acting like it's not aware, and then y'all act like y'all not aware. Like, the show can't play dumb and then y'all play dumb. That doesn't make any sense. And no, if the show is deciding to play dumb, y'all gotta remember that y'all have common sense. And a lot of y'all that I was watching react to this, it saddened my spirit. I'll just say that. Like, there was a lot that should have been said that wasn't. So especially like when she told Sokka, main man in the pajamas right here, that, you know, maybe he just didn't love their mother as much as she did. Like, that was rude. That was rude. First off, he's older. Second off, he's a guy, and he used to have a very high amount of toxic masculinity. Now, what do I mean by that, right? I can definitely believe that he was probably very distraught about what happened to their mother, but he kept it in because he didn't feel like he had time to cry about it when he had a family to protect. And I'll just leave it there. Like, he don't have time to complain about that. He got a whole family to protect. So that's where I'll leave that.
Sashto.
Ooh. Damn. Okay, socks. But yeah,
Oh.
yeah, so that's all I gotta say. It's okay for people to have negative things to say about Katara within reason, as long as they have the facts to back it up. I know you all love her. She used to be my favorite character too, okay? I understand the admiration. She is one of the greatest waterbenders out there. It's cool. Alright? Good. Now, here's my fifth unpopular opinion, also Katara themed. Yes, Aang is a better waterbender than Katara. Fight me. Sorry, fight me. Now, why do I think that? Because it was shown in the show. Aang is the type of person that he'll never show his full strength on someone if it's going to hurt them physically or emotionally. Very, very early on in the show, Katara definitely showed that she couldn't handle Aang being better than her. Alright, she couldn't handle it. So Aang pulled back. I saw a lot of people react to the show, like when they got to the North Pole, and they were kind of confused as to why Aang wasn't showing out anymore. You know, they were like, what's going on? Why is Aang, you know, playing around in these classes? Da, 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 da. Part of it is probably because he can be childish, but I think another aspect of it is literally that Katara is finally allowed to be in this class. He does not want to show her up by taking the classes so seriously that he'll end up beating her. Now, this is just my personal headcanon in terms of why he didn't do any better in the class. But we saw when she was teaching him that he's way better than her. There are things that took her months to learn. And she would just tell him what it was supposed to be. She wouldn't even show him some of them. She would just tell him what they were supposed to be. Like, be like, oh, it's supposed to be whipping it back and forth with some fluid motions, but I don't really know how to do it. And he'd just do it. So please stop with the whole, oh, if it was just waterbending, guitar would be it. This is a part of the disrespect of Aang that I see y'all doing. Like, if you think it's unfair to put people against him, I get that. That's fine. But please don't start lying because you have a favorite character. Like, when Katara was my favorite character, I never put her up against Aang, because that just sounds stupid. Okay? That just sounds stupid, so I didn't do it. Funny, right? Yeah, okay. So, yes, Aang is a better waterbender than Katara. There's moments in the show that prove that. He decided to downgrade how good he was so that she would become the master. I said what I said. There's proof in the show of it. Go watch it if you want to find out. Alright. Popular opinion number 6. Oh. Aang's arc may not be as exciting, but it is just as important as Zuko's. Yes, I said it. I've been seeing a lot of people over the last couple years. Orc. Hello, girlie. I've been seeing a lot of people over the last couple years watching this show, and they very much so just interesting. Sorry, got confused there that the overlay didn't look the same. But anyways. Oh, I'm sorry about her face, guys. Apparently this happens when you have sliders, like the faces just get all messed up. But anyways, what was I just talking about? Oh yes, Zuko and Aang. This show is about Aang and Zuko, if we're being very honest. That's why Zuko can get an entire episode to himself and no other character does. This show is definitely all about Zuko and all about Aang, but I feel like people don't necessarily notice Aang's arc the way that they notice Zuko's. And I feel like y'all need to do better, personally. I feel like because Aang did mature, and not mature in the way some of y'all wanted him to, like, oh, I want him to stop being so childish and blah blah blah. Like, no, like Aang just became a better person. He became a better leader. He became a more serious person, but not in the depressed way that people like. Like in season 1, where Aang would like come to the reality of a situation and it would be in a serious way. That's what people wanted to see. Like, they wanted to see Aang in a sort of depressive light because they feel like he needs to take everything super duper seriously. And to me personally, it's interesting because it's like, okay, why do you need to see him be sad? And there were moments in the show where all of the weight of what is happening would come on him and he would just get really like serious and sometimes even sad, not know what to do, freak out. And this is why he ran away in the first, because he didn't want all of that. But a lot of people who are watching, especially in the first season, you just kind of want him to understand everything and be whatever right away. And y'all are just mean, to be very honest. Y'all are so mean. It's so weird because it's like, why are y'all so mean to a little kid? But whatever, I'll leave it alone. He's fictional. Aang's arc is just as important as Zuko's. I'll say that, and I mean it. I do think it's really funny. I'm not sure. It doesn't really look Asian. It looks looks a little Asian. Look what these overlays are doing, brother. But anyways, long and short of it is, respect Aang's arc. Alright, you don't have to like it more than Zuko's. Nobody's asking you to do that. But please don't get all up in your feelings and act like Aang doesn't even have an arc, because he does. And you guys just need more respect for Aang in general, which is why, you know what, I will make an Aang video, because y'all got me messed up. Anyways, next unpopular opinion, number 7. Azula is great. But my unpopular opinion about her is this. It is okay for Azula to have a redemption arc. Now, she's never going to have one. But I do remember there was a time where Aaron Eha's, the head writer for the show back in the day, said that he would have liked to have given Azula a redemption arc, you know, or at least make her more than just that villainous girl, you know. And a lot of people, like, they was mad. They was like, no, you don't, Azula does not need that, and no, and oh, this is some pretty skin. Alright, Azula does not need that, and no, and I'm just like, guys, unless he kills her, or unless she finds a new form of bending, she's not that frightening anymore. Zuko has finally defeated her in combat. Alright, unless they showed more of her personality or what's going on with her, like, they would have to do some drastic things to make her still an S tier villain. Now, I know what some people are going to say. She'll always be S tier. What do you mean? Look, all I'm saying is the lazy thing to do is to just keep her where she is. Because at some point, it's not really going to make much sense if you just keep her where she is. That's what I'll say about that. Interesting skin. Very interesting. Hold on. Guys. I might just use that other skin at the top because it fits the best. But this one is also giving Asian, so I might just give her this skin. Yeah, I might just do this one. But yes, unpopular opinion, I feel like it would have been okay if Azula had an arc. Why? Because if they had the same writers for the original, maybe it would have been interesting. And no, she wouldn't have had to become part of the team. What if she had an arc where she ends up dying at the end? Like, she does the right thing and sacrifices herself for the good of the world. I know, it sounds crazy. It sounds like it doesn't make any sense. I agree with that. But it definitely would have been interesting to see. And that is my only point on that. Don't just poop on the idea because you like the way she is now. Because that show was short. And so that's cute. And so certain things have happened in this show that should have taken more time. So I think it's okay, you know, if they had had more time to try and develop things, I think. Hold on. I know what you guys are saying. This one, her eyes look a little more like they're supposed to look. This might actually be the one. This might be the one. But yeah, that's my unpopular opinion. It's okay for Azula to have a redemption arc. We shouldn't be upset about something that never even happened. You know, I've seen a lot of discourse over it, and y'all need better stuff to do with your time, because that is not what y'all should be arguing about. I'll tell y'all what y'all should be arguing about in my Legend of Korra video, because that's what y'all should have been arguing about. Alright, next unpopular opinion number 8. Here we go. Meat and potatoes. May is a good fighter. Now, why am I saying it like I'm talking to idiots? Because the same people who love to act like they realize it's a kid show whenever it suits them are the same people who forget it's a kid show when it comes to other more obvious things like character development and backstory. Do you really think do you really think that Azula would have had May on her team if her knives couldn't actually cut people? Is that what we're doing now? We're pretending, we're acting like we don't have common sense. Is that the consensus here? Obviously, May can either injure or kill people with her knives. I'm pretty sure the only reason she hasn't is because this show was on Nickelodeon and it was designated for children. Other than that, though, I'm pretty sure when she throws those knives, men are injured or killed. Which is why she's on Azula's team. Which shouldn't be a shock to anybody. But here we are. God. Discussing this. This has to be something I say. I mean, like, it seems like something that's super obvious. Like, when I brought it up to my family, who is avid Avatar lovers like me, but not as serious as me, they couldn't even believe that I was talking to them about this because it just seemed so obvious. They were like, huh? Of course. Of course she can hurt somebody. What? We knew that. They were looking at me like, who have you been talking to? Like, where have you been hearing all of this? And it's like, bro, I wake up and I hear the nonsense. I wake up and I hear it. I see it on Twitter. People watch the show for the first time and they say these things. You know, like, May is so boring and she can't handle herself. And thank God Ty Lee was there because May is just... This is one of the reasons why... This is number 9. I'll go into number 9. This is one of the reasons why I am excited for the live action. Now, I'm not excited as in I'll parade it all over the place like I will be doing Avatar. No. But with the fact that they are going to change certain things and it's not necessarily a kid show for kids only, I do hope that when they do introduce May, even though they haven't found her actress yet, that they will finally give us that much needed kill count so that y'all who just started watching the show can shut up. Because I feel like people who have watched the show before don't say things like this. So if you have watched the show and you've never thought of this and you're offended, I don't mean all of you, but there's a lot of you, like people that I really like their opinions, you know. So it's like, I'm just shocked that they would even say something so stupid to me, because it's like, y'all really think that May is lazy? Like, yes, there are moments in the show where May is just sitting there like she doesn't want to do anything, or really May just acts like that because she's bored. The reason why she decided to go with Azula is because she's bored. That's why. So I think honestly people need to just take their head out of their butt and just relax, bro. Relax. Nobody is thinking of it that hard. Okay, obviously May has a really good kill count. That is why she's on Azula's team. And that's probably also why she can get away with not doing everything that Azula asks, which you guys didn't even notice that. Azula only had an issue with her when she decided to pick Zuko. Yep, I said it. There was that time when they were doing the drill and she was fighting, but she didn't feel like going all the way, so she stopped. and nothing happened to her. What? Like, I feel like you guys don't think. You guys don't think. Why would she? And I'm not saying that to say that she's way better than Ty Lee. They're good in their own rights, but please don't make it seem like I don't even know why Azula had her. She never does anything. Da, da, da. But then later on in the show, where she gets rid of all the guards in that two-part jail episode, and then y'all are like, "Wow, May's pretty good." I hate when y'all do that. I really do. Y'all do the same thing to Aang. Like y'all act like these people are so weak or so stupid, and then when they do something smart or cool, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that they could be that interesting. It's like, brother, yeah, okay. Anyway, so that was unpopular opinion number 9. Let me see. What else? I think I might cap this video off at unpopular opinion number 10. But we'll see. So for my 10th opinion, debating. Because I think this one will have people upset. Okay, fine. I'll do it. Unpopular opinion number 10. In retrospect, there's an issue with Uncle Iroh. And this is because of the comics, alright? If the show ended where it ended, I wouldn't really have too much of an issue. And don't hear me say that and think I'm a definite hater or whatever. Like, I'm really not. So, in the comics, right? Zuko is ruling as he should. And because he is ruling, he's under a lot of stress. And so this man decides to go to his father for assistance. This is Fire Lord Ozai, okay? He doesn't have any counsel that he really cares about. Nobody there that he can actually trust. Like, he's kind of all on his own with it. And so when it's down to the wire on super important decisions that he can't just come up with, he'll go visit the prison and ask his dad for help. So of course his dad is like, huh, you're coming to me? Interesting. And like, honestly, it's interesting to me too, because nigga, why are you here? Oh my god. So here's my problem with it, because honestly, y'all played way too many games. Where was Iroh? Where was he? I don't want to hear that he needed a break. He's done enough. Why do you want him to not be okay? Stop. All right. End it right there. Cut it off and stop. Because what we're not gonna do is tell lies. What we're not gonna do is tell lies. That man. That man Iroh dipped out on Zuko. Alright? Dipped out. Zuko needed more assistance. If it was at least that the books went forward a year, 2 years, 3 at most, and then Uncle Iroh retired, then I would leave it alone. Because at least I know that Uncle Iroh tried to assist him, right? And then went into retirement. No, that nigga went into retirement immediately. Guys, he's tired. Yeah, tired from being a warlord, right? And then he went on a trip of self-discovery, right? He's not done paying it back. Hello? Like, honestly, y'all need to think with both hemispheres of the brain. Why did y'all even think it was a good idea to leave Zuko as leader like this? Here's why I'm upset, right? Because people are gonna be like, why do you seem so upset with this? Because sorry. I'm upset about this because he literally put the fate of everyone in danger by thinking he could trust his dad by trying to get information from him. Do you not know how crazy that is? That he thought he could go to his dad for assistance? Like, I'm sorry. No. No. And he only thought he could do that because... whatever. Whatever. Because y'all don't think it's a problem. Y'all think it was all okay. That we're just sitting here complaining about nothing. Like, ma'am, sir, ma'am. Like, whatever. So he made a bunch of mistakes that y'all can see if you decide to read the comics that led to Legend of Korra, which is kind of a mistake in itself, but I'm gonna let it go for right now because that's not what this video is about. But I feel like for at least 3 years, then he can take a break. Iroh should have been there advising him. Iroh didn't need to be the leader, right? You always say he doesn't need to be, even though it was technically his kingdom, like we saw that Ozai took the throne from him. That's what happened. He took the throne from him, but whatever. I do feel like personally that I'm sorry, I'm just so sad about what happened. I do feel like, you know, in all honesty, he should have taken the lead a little bit, or directed Zuko in how to take the lead, instead of just leaving him there to try and figure everything out for himself, because obviously that didn't work. It didn't work, and all that ended up happening was that he ended up spiraling and going to his dad. Now obviously the writers decided that him going to his father for advice isn't something that mattered, because everything just ended up normal-ish in the future, but in real life that would have had some real consequences. So I'm just going to say that that part of it was completely unrealistic and leave it at that. But anyways, guys, that was my unpopular opinions. Now I know you guys are going to want to see the rest of this make. Like, what will Katara look like? I'm gonna make another Avatar video and possibly show you what she looks like after that. But we will see. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, Simmies, and you just enjoy the rest of your day.